Wait. No, I'm
We're
just kidding.
oh, we are live. Welcome everyone to the 65th edition of Playtest This, um, featuring our returning guest Eric Ledger with yet another delightful creation, and our star-studded panel of playtesters. And we are having Vasanth join us as a witness and a feedback giver.
Can
Um,
I get a witness?
we have one. We have that. Um, but let's. Why don't we have everybody say who you are and how people can find what you're working on at home? Let's start with Eric. Oh, also, what's your favorite game?
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, that's a loaded question. That's choosing your favorite child.
Mm-hmm.
And So my favorite game outside of anything that I've created, it would be probably Terraforming Mars still, although I waver between that and the Ares Expedition.
Okay.
I like them both oh so much. Then for me, today was actually my last day as an administrative law judge. Tomorrow I
Yeah.
go back to being an attorney, albeit at a higher level.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that. And so that's kind of my day job. And then this is my primary hobby, board game design. And I am the organizer for the Sacramento Board Game Designers Meetup group. We also have a Facebook page as well, and that's where you can find me if you're in the Sacramento area and you want to play test some games.
Awesome. Sasha, tell us about yourself and what is your favorite game?
Um, I am Sasha. I'm a designer in Portland. I uh, started a group called Playtest PDX, sort of meetup that Evan is a part of and is a great um, group of designers. It's a lot of fun. I also teach board game design to middle schoolers and elementary school kids in an after school program. And I just love design in general and playing games and making games. So that's that. As far as favorite game, that is a very challenging question. I'm gonna not go with my absolute favorite, but I'm gonna go with a game that I like a lot and will always play that doesn't show up that high for most other people I know. And that is Tokyo Highway. I'm a really big fan of Tokyo Highway. It is a dexterity game. I'm not like just a dexterity game person, but I do really like Tokyo Highway, and I'm really stoked that their Kickstarter is going right now, and I just backed it. So.
Nice. Wes, tell us about yourself and what is your favorite game?
All right. Wes Woodbury, a part of Fundamental Games. I have a few games under my belt, but the most recent one was Forge, which we're still waiting to get the European backer shipped, but otherwise it's all delivered. So hoping to finish that up soon. I am from Canada. You can see this is and my dog Jasper there. He's poking out behind me. That's actually one of the dog parks we took our dogs to in the winter here.
Awesome.
As for favorite game, the game of life is the unwinnable game. That's always fun. But actual game that I play is one I play with my wife quite often, and we actually spent a bunch of money on the game fund that came out I think early last year for Castles of Burgundy. So we
Yeah.
we didn't go all in with everything deluxe, but we got the fancy castles and the acrylic tokens, and it really does make the game experience a little bit more fun and eye appealing. But I mean, the game is the same game, and it's fantastic.
And the vineyards?
And the Vineyards expansion, yep.
Nice.
My wife went all in on that and toasted me. I let her have it. I was like, I'll just play the core game and see how you do with the expansion. She wiped me.
The vineyards are important.
Yeah, they sure are.
Matthew, tell us about yourself and what is your favorite game?
Hey guys, my name is Matthew. You got it right. No. I'll start with my favorite game. I'll go with a slightly different angle. My favorite game, hot game, is Critter Kitchen. I know it's another kitchen themed game. I played it 3 days ago at Tantrum Con. It's the Kickstarter just ended. I was a late backer. and it was amazing. Really enjoyed it. Got to play with the guy who owns the Flamecraft IP company. I forget his name at the moment. Real nice guy. Taught everyone the
Vaughn.
game. Yeah, and it's got a lot of player interaction and blocking, and it just kept me really engaged, and it looked beautiful. You know, if you've seen Flamecraft, you'd know what I'm talking about. And then as far as about me, I've been working on a 2-year project with a whale as the center of the game. It's called License to Krill. Looking to kickstart around the end of May. We'll see. And it's a game where we are the krill. We collect some points, kind of like a sushi go. And but the whale is also the hot potato. It kind of swims around, eats our cards. So it's a fun one. That's me.
I'm excited for your next game set in the same world called We Are the Krill. We are the krill. You're like defending the crown. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, or License to Grill. I may make a grilling game in the same world. Yeah. Now we grill the krill.
Get in on the food.
Vasanth, why don't you tell folks at home about yourself and what is your favorite game?
Yeah, hi, I'm Basant, and my day job is like I do animation for board games. Like I do video production for board games, and my hobby is board game designing and yeah, as well as like board game playing. But I'm very new to that board game designing and playing. And my favorite one, I have played very less games, but my favorite one is Pandemic, and I have played several times only. But right now I try to make network with people to play more games. So maybe this will be helpful for me, and as well as like I can make network with people's board game distributors.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Okay.
Pandemic.
Right. Is everybody ready? Let's do it. Eric, run us through Deductive Seasoning.
Okay, welcome to Deductive Seasoning. You are all food scientists and budding chefs, and you have all concocted a dish that will contain a secret ingredient. The goal of the game is to guess your opponent's ingredient. If you guess somebody's ingredient, you get a point. In multiplayer mode, first person to 2 points wins. If for any reason everybody got a single point at the end of the first round, you would play the second round, and then it would be sudden death. The first person to gain any point would win. So that's the win condition, guessing your opponent's ingredients. And you're going to do that under traditional deduction. Whatever cannot be must be left, right? So if you look back here on the tabletop version, these would essentially what you're looking at is the periodic table of flavor, which would be everybody's got a copy of them. On the tabletop version of the game, this is on the back of your player screen, which we don't really use on Tabletop Simulator. And what you'll see on here, there are 90 different ingredients. They are all different. If you are a chemistry nerd, everything is the exact same as the periodic table of the elements, except I've changed the names to match various spices and flavorings that you would add to a food dish. So basically everybody has 6 cards at setup. Out of these 6 cards, one of them you're going to choose to be your secret ingredient for the game. I'll go ahead and explain the rules before you choose, because that might affect your decision. Then on your turn, I always try to keep turns pretty simple. You're going to play a card. You can activate its power and then draw back up to 5. And that's very simple as far as turns go. When you're playing a card, there are going to be 2 rules that you follow. So this will be the market of cards you can draw from. You can take one of these 3 or from the top of the deck. So for purposes of teaching, I'll use these 3 cards. That way we don't reveal any new information. So, an important point, there are 90 cards in the deck, so 1 for every ingredient. Whenever you see a card anywhere out here on the board, you can cross it off as not being a secret ingredient of your opponent. So let's say that Kathir leaves is my secret ingredient, right? Now on my turn, I can play a card, and you have 3 areas at the top of your board up here: row, color group, and column. I can play the secret ingredient in any of these areas as long as it is, I can play the card from my hand in any of these areas as long as it differs from my secret ingredient. So if I wanted to play cardamom, but my secret ingredient was kaffir leaves, I could put it in color group. I could put it in column, but they're both in row D, so I can't play this in the row section. So that's the first sort of trade-off strategically in the game is you are giving away information to all of your opponents every time you're playing a card to activate its power and get information back from all of your opponents. Then the information it goes to everybody. So in cardamom, it's the largest section on the board. It says pick any seasoning. Opponents have to say whether their seasoning is adjacent to it. So literally, if I play this in color group, I pick anywhere on the board. Let's say I want to know if you're adjacent to bitters, number 83. And then everybody would have to tell me, are they adjacent to bitters in any of these slots? If you happen to be bitters, you don't tell that you're not adjacent to bitters. You would properly say, no, you are bitters. So that's the basic element of the game. And now let's get to guessing ingredients. Everybody has 2 free guess cards in their hand at start. There's 2 different cards. The 2 kind of wild elements on the board will give you additional free guesses. Otherwise, these 2 free guess cards are the only 2 you're going to get throughout the game. You can use a free guess card during your turn at the end of it as sort of a bonus action. And pick any person and say, Sasha, I think you are cilantro. Are you cilantro? And if you get it, you get the point. If not, then that's it. You can also use both of your free guest cards on the same turn if you so desired. The other way that you would guess an opponent's ingredient if you're out of your free guest cards or if for some reason you don't want to use them is when you play a card, you play it in row, color group, or column. You ignore the power that's on the card. You don't do the card's power. Instead, you directly guess your opponent's ingredient as your power. That's always available. So that's the second way that you can directly guess an opponent's ingredient. Let's see. That's pretty much the teach. We're going to 2 points. So first person to guess 2 wins. If all 3 of your opponents have gotten their secret ingredients guessed, and it gets to your turn and you're the last person with a secret ingredient, you get a point for that. So if you were the last person standing and it comes back to your turn, you get a point for that. Are there questions?
I blacked out when you were talking about row, color group, and column. What does that mean?
Yeah. Okay, so again, let's say my secret ingredient was this one, kaffir leaves. I can play cardamom. Whatever card you're playing, whatever area you play it in. If I play it in color group, I can't play a brown card in the color group area because my secret ingredient's brown. I couldn't put a row D card in the row area because I wouldn't be able to put cardamom here because they're both in row D. But I could put it in color group because they're different. I could put it in column because they're different. So the trade-off is you're giving away information about your ingredient while collecting it from your opponents. The other thing I forgot to tell you, there's an even play rule. So once you play in column, you would have to play, and then the next time you play, it has to be color group or row. Then the last card you play has to be in color group before you could play a second card in any of them. So even play up here. So there is an element of hand management with that regard.
So you can't play a card that would match the thing of your secret ingredient.
Yeah, for that area. So
that
again,
area, right.
Yeah. So if your secret ingredients, kaffir leaves here, I can't put brown cards in color group. I can't put row D cards here. I can't put column 18 cards in column.
Got it.
There you go.
Cool.
And cards abilities activate whenever they're played out in any of those 3 areas?
Yeah, generally speaking, yes. The only time you wouldn't do the card's ability is if you were going to ignore the ability to directly guess.
Right.
And is it an optional thing, or there's no reason you wouldn't ever do it? Or
I can't imagine any scenario where you wouldn't want to use it.
Because you are potentially giving information to other players as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, if there was a really weird scenario where it was down to you and one other person and you knew their color group and you had 5 cards saying guess the color group in their hand,
Mhm.
then you could just directly guess instead of activating its power.
And directly guessing, you can play any card.
Any card can do it. Any
Okay,
card can be
and
used,
guess
but what
anything.
all you do is you just ignore the power that's listed on the card instead of doing it directly guess at somebody.
Got it.
So can I clarify this also, Eric? So let's say this is my secret ingredient. So what does the D represent again? It means I can't play this in.
Yeah, so D is the and it's also on here on the side of
row.
the thing. The D is the row. So
Yeah.
if barrage was your secret ingredient, you can't play any row D cards in the row area. You can't put any blue cards in color group, and you can't put any column 17 cards in column. Everything else is fair game.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. That one's complicated. Okay.
Okay.
No, we'll try our best, but I'm sure it's happened that someone has made a mistake and played a card that was
Yeah.
matching. What is there a mechanic to officially deal with that, or is it just a?
It
You-
seems
you-
like
you
something
would-
that would sort of break it.
Yeah, it hasn't really happened all that often, but
Instant loss.
The way that I'm thinking about it is, if you have a secret ingredient, you can't play any card that has any of these 3 values in it.
In
D,
those
purple,
spots.
or 9.
no, that's not true. You can play a purple card, but you got to play the purple card in a row
In a
or
non-purple
column
area. Got it.
Yeah.
And you could put a row E purple in here and just say I'm not in row E, or you could put a column 8 here off of cardamom and say I'm not in column 8. The only thing you could not do if cardamom was your secret ingredient, you couldn't put a purple card in color group. So wherever you're playing, it has to be in whatever area you play in has to be different than your secret ingredient. So the best way I can kind of tell you is, if you are verbalizing it, if you're a new player, I say verbalize it as you're playing the card down. When you're playing the card, tell everybody I'm not in row D. That way you realize that you're playing it correctly. Or I'm not in color group purple,
Yeah.
or I'm not in column 9. If you verbalize it for your first game or two, I feel like it kind of clicks after a few goes.
That'll help my brain as well.
Yeah.
And
So
the guessing a card correctly, a secret ingredient of another player. You said we get a point.
yes.
Is there any thematic, like, am I revealing spices in their skeleton closet? Like, what's a point mean?
The theme in the rule book, I mean, it's just basically that you're having a contest. You are a food scientist. You've concocted secrets, and you're budding chefs. You've concocted dishes with a secret ingredient, and you're trying to guess it. And whoever has the best palate wins. So it's basically gaining a point to say that you have the better palate.
So these can almost be thought of as like Michelin stars or something.
Well, they would be ingredients that would be in the dish that you're tasting.
Right, but when I
yeah.
get it correct, I'm awarded a point. I'm just wondering more thematically, I'm awarded a Michelin star or something.
Yeah, I mean, you could go. I wouldn't say Michelin though. I think that's trademark. But
You are awarded a food awesomeness star.
yes, you are a Food Network star. Wait, no, not that. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I mean, you could just generically say star, and it's
No, that's
there
correct.
for those that would recognize it.
No,
You get a moon.
That's a good point.
Okay, what else?
Any
do we
other
need to know?
questions? That's it. That's the whole game.
Now, should we put our secret ingredient card somewhere so that
Yeah,
we know?
on the tabletop version, ordinarily you'd have it behind your screen. I would recommend doing two ways of doing it. If you want to have it easy to look at, you could just flip the card over in your hand like that, and then just refer to it whenever you need to. Or if you're worried about that, you could put it face down on the table and then just refer back to it when you need to.
I'm going to put it to the right of my free guesses.
Yeah.
When do we get to
Yeah.
lock that in? Is it any of the ones I'm dealt?
Yeah, so you're dealt 6 cards to start. From these 6 cards, one of them you choose as your secret ingredient. For the rest of the game, your hand size is 5.
Oh, I see. So that's why I got to
Yeah.
have it out of my. Okay.
And then the other thing that you can be doing right now is, there's 90 ingredients, and right now you've got 6 in your hand. and 3 of them face up on the board. So you should be crossing 9 ingredients off of your deduction notepad.
Okay.
That I've done.
Is there a reason why my deduction notepad can't be on the board? I guess other players will see it, right?
35,
Yeah, other players would
It's
see
kind
it.
of like Clue, right?
27.
Yeah, ordinarily it would be on the table. It would be behind the screen, but this is kind of an awkward game to play on Tabletop Simulator for that reason. That's why I kind of suggested printing the score pads out so you could have them at home with paper and pen, which is the ideal way to play it.
I didn't do that. Okay, there we go.
While
Okay,
they're crossing it off again, Eric, I'm just going to clarify one last time using a different
Sure.
card. If I were this purple cardamom, I could not
Yes.
play purple cards in my color group.
Correct.
I could not play cards in row D or row cards. Can't put D's in the row spot.
Yeah, anything going in row here can't be row D.
Okay, so for
And
me,
then-
I'm just writing down my restrictions on my paper here. So okay. So I can't put any cards in there. Okay.
And then if you were
column.
cardamom, you would not be able to put column 9 cards in column.
Okay.
Anything else can go in there.
All right.
there we go. Okay.
And I'm going to put my card upside down on the table because I have it written down.
Alright. Okay, everybody's marked off. Okay.
Maybe I should keep it in my hands so that nobody can see it.
And then
we do it?
according to the rules, whoever cooked or baked the dish last gets to go first.
I cooked last night.
Beat me.
Baked or cooked? Or
It's
both?
cooked or baked.
I mean, I made lunch.
That's the winner so far.
I didn't make anything today, so
All right, Sasha gets to go first.
All right.
I'm still marking stuff off. Just give me.
All right, that's
Oh
fine.
my gosh.
No rush.
I'm trying to catch up to you.
I'm
and
in
it's mandatory to play a card every turn, right?
Yes, every turn you're going to play a card, either activate its power or guess an opponent's ingredient, and then draw back up to 5. And then drawing back up, you can choose one of the 3 market or draw from the top of the deck.
And if something says your opponent, it means a single opponent.
No, all of the powers are played to everybody on the table. So if it's guess an opponent's color group, you would say, "Are you in purple?" And then all other
Oh.
people say whether they're in purple.
Okay.
So in that respect, the game kind of goes fast. It almost plays like a 2-player game, no matter what player count, 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
So
And what are the cards that I should already know? Oh, the ones in my hand and the 3 on the board, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Drop the 3 in the center. Just a sec.
Mhm.
You said it's yeah, okay, your secret card also. Yeah.
Mhm.
9. Got it.
Shh. What's your secret card?
What's the
0.
number?
It's element 0.
element 0.
I have no secret
Okay.
ingredients.
Now I think I am ready to start. Now I have to think about what I'm actually playing. Um, okay, I think. Can I do I'm just gonna do what I think I
Do
do.
it.
Place this here.
So we know that your secret card is not 17 and it is not
no,
blue.
No, you know
it's-
that
it's
it's
just
not
the
in
color.
blue.
It's
It's
just not blue.
It's not in blue.
We also know
You-
that it's not 17.
No, if I put
No.
it in the column row, then you know it wasn't 17.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
but cloves is 17 and you just played the cloves card.
Right. So it's not blue, which includes cloves in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was right.
Well,
So
if it makes
You're
you feel
always
better,
right,
if it
Evan,
makes you
you're
feel better,
always
we'll
right.
leave it at that.
And then so
Sasha's card is not blue.
Now,
And
now
then-
you get to propose a single color group and everybody answers.
purple.
All right. Everybody has to declare whether they are in purple, their secret ingredient.
One at a time, probably, because everybody's
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
listen. Yeah.
All at once.
So I say yes or no. Mine is or isn't purple.
Correct.
Mine is purple.
So we can
Don't
cross out
worry,
everything
there's
that's
a lot
not
of purple.
on his board.
Mine is not purple.
Who's that?
Wes Woodbury.
Wes. Wes's is not purple. I figured.
I just realized I scratched all the wrong card numbers off. I didn't look at the tiny number. I just looked at the column
Oh, no.
number.
Oh.
Oh,
That's okay. I'll catch up. Is anybody else purple or just Evan?
No, just Evan. I'm also not purple. This is Matt with the
And-
what color am I?
And Sasha does not have to admit whether he is or isn't purple.
no. The only thing we know about Sasha right now is he's not blue. Dabba da da da.
Dabbity dabbity da.
And then Sasha, draw back up to 5, and your turn's done.
I think that's a
I can
Beatles
draw
song.
from the 3
Or from the
draw
top.
from the top of the deck.
Correct.
I mean, I like drawing from the top of the deck.
Go for it.
think.
I think most people tend to draw from the top of the deck, but I have the 3 out here in case you have some funky hand management issue and you really want to select
Yeah, like if you might want a specific ability, but
Yeah.
I give other players less information if I take from the top of the deck. I feel like.
All right.
So
Whose
that's
turn
my
is it?
turn. So now
I think
clockwise from me.
Yeah, clockwise. Matthew,
Oh, sorry. It's my turn next.
that's okay.
I only messed a few of them up. Not as bad as I thought. I could still win.
You can still do it, people.
I know
Okay.
you're purple. That's all that matters.
So I've already revealed that I'm not purple, so I'm going to reveal again that I'm not purple
Yeah.
because I'm not purple.
Mhm.
Yep.
If we find out you're purple, you're double wrong.
It'll be negative 2
Yeah.
stars for every time I'm incorrect. Okay.
Purple bluff.
I'm going to pick a seasoning, and everyone must say if they are adjacent to it, the 9 squares surrounding it.
Wow.
So I am going, yeah, I like this one. I'm going to pick 42. So if they are 42, they still say no, right? It's just adjacent.
Correct. If you're 42, you're appropriately saying no, you're not adjacent to 42.
So if I am not adjacent to 42, I say no. If I am adjacent, I say yes.
Correct.
I feel like this game is rigged.
Don't worry. Even if you're discovered early on, you're still in the game,
Okay.
and you can still win.
I am adjacent to 42.
Okay.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Yeah.
We know
I
he's
am not
42.
adjacent to 42.
Wes.
We already knew Wes wasn't purple, so that didn't really help
Yeah.
us. But thank you, Wes.
Sasha.
I am not adjacent to 42.
But
Oh.
Evan, you said you are?
I am.
You is.
You guys
Okay.
are just you guys are harshing my mellow right now.
And it's not even any dice involved.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
right. I can't
It's over
I
to
can't
you,
even
Evan.
Complain about it. Okay. So, I mean, I can still complain. Honestly.
How many? Oh, I have to build evenly. That's right. I am going to take that. Do I replenish the market now?
Yes, please. And then, yeah, you want to pay attention when the market gets replenished, so you cross it off.
That's true.
Oh, so you revealed a free card. Although everybody knows about purple by now.
Yeah. It doesn't give us a whole lot. Oh, it,
Unless Evan happened to be a 22 in his little square, but it doesn't look like.
22 is not adjacent to 42. So.
No.
Okay. Sneaky. That's sneaky. I'm gonna play color group brown. You know that my secret sauce is not brown.
Yes.
And then I'm going to return any number of cards to the bottom of the deck and draw that many. All right.
I've walked by this game once, and I'm trying to remember where. I was at a physical playtest in the playtest room, and I saw your game, and I came over and I said, "I love the periodic table," and then you briefly described it to me.
And he said that's not a
was
periodic
it
table.
Kublai Khan?
Nope. Could have been
Let's see.
PAX or Gen Con or
a different periodic table game.
It might have been
on Pub Prime. One of those three.
It would have had to have been Gen Con. That was the
Then
only
it
one
was Gen
that
Con.
I've been to.
Yep, it must have been that one.
All right, I can go now.
Yeah, I think that was it.
We're gonna toss some parsley down. And I'd like to know, I'd really like to know if you have green in your secret sauce.
So
we know that Wes is
your
not
color
blue.
is not blue.
You have deducted correctly.
Deductive seasoning.
So, Sasha, are you green?
Not green.
What did he say?
Not green?
Not green. Sasha doth declare.
We
not
know
green.
Evan's not green. How about you, Eric?
I'm not playing.
Matt?
Oh.
I'm not
Matt.
green.
No problem. No, I am also not green.
Matt.
All right.
Not green. Oh my gosh.
I know. Trying to keep track of all these little overlaps of information.
All right. And I will just draw the top of the deck. Oh, wait. Because I have the free guesses don't count as cards. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm ready. Pass the turn. I suppose I could have taken a wild stab. So there's no penalty in using a guess card, is there?
Other than it's a one-time use only.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's up.
Lose that resource.
Right now it'd be 1 and 8. It's up to you if you think it'll come back around to you.
Nope, I'm good. I'll hedge my bets. Evan will last another round.
We'll see.
I shouldn't assume it's 1 and 8. Somebody might have other cards to narrow it even further.
So we can only use free guesses on our own turn, right?
Yeah, on your own turn, you can use them at any time, but I mean, generally most people use them at the end of the turn because you can get information first and then narrow it down further.
Let's go with.
Interestingly, we all started with color group. How long has this been in the works?
I started working on this, what is it? Probably April of last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the inspiration? You were cooking dinner that night or?
No, actually, somebody posted something in Board Game Design Lab and they wanted help with a title for something, and I was just brainstorming a lot of different things to try to come up with help, and then I came up with this title, and I really liked it for myself, and so because it started giving me some ideas for a good game, and then I was like, okay,
Did you post it or did you just keep it to yourself?
no, I kept it for myself. Sorry.
Nice, nice.
I mean, if it's not something I want, I'll give it away. Yeah.
Oh,
That's just dropping some peppermint.
Yeah.
Oh, the old
Doesn't really help us at all. So
So we now know that Sasha, his secret juju is not in row F.
correct.
Okay, Sasha. F. Crassa de Sasha, row F.
and
Crassa de Sasha? That sounds
Yeah.
like an interesting game.
Crassa de Sasha.
It's a
It
rolling
sounds
right.
like it's this Austin Powers from Goldmember.
Can we use multiple free guesses in a turn?
I think
Yes,
so.
you can use them both in the same turn if you want.
You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare.
Well,
He
Boy,
likes
with,
to
this,
beat the
it's like an
game.
interesting situation.
with this
'cause,
power and 2 guesses, you got a pretty good chance of knowing what it is.
yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 to get it,
Yep.
which I don't know how much I like those odds, because then if I miss it, then you
Oh, I love those odds
You
because
get
I
it.
go next.
Yeah.
That is the part of the strategy.
So in that case, I think I'm actually going to say, let's go 84. So Evan obviously is no. but-
Obviously.
Is anybody
Yeah.
adjacent to Pimento?
Remember.
Oh, you're going for 84. You're not going for Evan. Okay.
Yeah. Look out, everybody.
Interesting.
That is a big no from me.
Wes is not adjacent to 84.
1 second. I gotta change the color of my pen. That's how I've been keeping track of the individual player colors. I guess I'm next.
Mhm.
So
Matt,
I
did you
am
answer? Sorry.
not yet. Not yet.
Yes, check his work.
I am 1 second.
He's just
I
throwing you.
am not adjacent to
Okay.
84.
He's just trying to throw you
What are you
off.
thinking about?
I'm
Oh,
really
yeah.
close to it. So close that I had to check 7 times.
I'm actually number 1. No. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
All right, Evan, sorry, Sasha, are you passing?
Yeah, I'm not doing a guess.
All right.
So
I have
back
to
to
draw
me.
a card.
Yep.
Now it is your turn.
Okay, I am telling you that I am not in column 12.
You are not in column
1 second.
12,
Yeah,
Matthew.
Not in column 12. And the power says I pick 2 columns, and everyone must say this is a really powerful one. Whether their seasoning is in those 2 columns, and they don't have to be different. They can be adjacent or anywhere on the.
They
on the
can
thing.
be anywhere on the board, and they don't say which column they're in. You just say whether you're in those 2 columns.
Right. I think it's funny that your illustration on the card is pretty much where I'm going to guess to get Evan.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Evan,
Yes.
or not Evan, everyone.
Not targeted at all.
Are you in column 5? Column 5.
Well, no, hold on. You name
No,
both of them at the
you
same
named both
time.
of them, and he
At the
says
same
yes
time.
or no.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's both columns. Okay, 5 and 7.
Am I in column 5 or 7 is the question.
5 or
Yes.
7. Yes.
Yes or no?
Please say no.
Yes.
Ah, I would have had it if you said no.
I
Yeah.
am. I
mean,
am in
well,
column 5 or 7.
And
Okay.
Sasha and I are obviously exempt because we're not purple.
Yep.
You could say no, but yeah, I think we've already
Yeah, yeah.
deduced that.
Well, I am not in column 5 or column 7.
He said it. You heard it
Yep.
here first, folks.
I still think there's enough guesses that it'll get round to me. Maybe we'll see. Okay,
Okay.
so I've played my card, and I'll need to select a new card.
All right, Evan.
Yes. I want to know. Well, first, let's
Mhm.
let's let everyone know that I am not in.
Oh, really quick, Evan.
Yeah.
You didn't draw back up to 5 at the end of your last turn.
Oh, let me draw one.
Yeah.
Doink.
You've ruined the game.
Okay, so it's not that one. Nobody is that one. Which one, you might ask? I'll never
Yeah, I
tell.
couldn't hear which one you said there. You got
I'll
a little
never-
quiet,
I'll never tell.
a little static.
So, I am not in row G.
Roji.
I think we already
Well,
know.
that didn't help us at all.
You are welcome. And I want to know, are you in column 1 or column 2?
Yes.
I am not in column 1, and I'm not in column 2.
Wes is
Uh,
not.
Just to be clear, all you have to say is yes or no. You don't have to say individually.
I was trying to add some tension.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
that
no,
gives us
that's
more
fine. That's
information.
fine. Yeah.
It gives us more information, the way you said it, potentially.
Well, now
Okay.
it's
Not in
both
column
no.
1 or column 2. Column 3 is another story.
A story for a different game.
Yes.
That story at 6.
Sasha?
I am not in column 1 or 2.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, over to me.
Yeah.
I am not in column 1 or 2.
You guys are the worst.
Hey, we just eliminated like
Yeah.
a lot of stuff there.
We
did.
or I did? I did.
This is isn't this a cooperative game to try to find the best
It
place?
doesn't feel like it.
Let's start with the teach again. No, I'm just kidding.
It doesn't feel like a cooperative game.
A cooperative deduction game. Oh, actually, you could have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris
All right.
Stone made one of those.
Did you
Did
draw
you get
back
the
up?
card, Evan?
What's that?
Did you draw?
I did not.
You could draw one of the face up too. You don't have to top deck.
Okay, so I know that it is not that number.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an important one.
Mm,
That's the key to the whole game right there.
I know
All right, Wes,
that
your
it's
turn.
not that number.
It is my turn, and I must make a decision here. My decision is made. All right, so
Has
and I
anyone drawn
cannot
from
play
the
in
center?
color group. What's that?
Has anyone drawn from the center?
I have.
Yeah,
One person.
yeah.
did.
Okay. Which card is new here?
Do I tell him?
49. All right.
Okay, what's my rule for rows again? Oh, okay. So I will. Oh, I see it. I'm gonna drop this here in the row section. So you know that I am not in row
One.
E.
Mhm.
Wes,
Oh,
what?
it is row. Yeah, row E.
Wes
Row
is
E.
not in row E.
And I'm going to perform the blue card. I'm going to guess yellow this time. So you must tell me if you are in the yellow color group.
I am not in the yellow group.
Sasha's not.
That leaves you,
Yellow.
Matt. Are you in yellow?
I am not in yellow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
You guys are making this hard. Like everything worked against Evan. Okay. I don't think I have enough information to take a guess on because Evan still has 6 numbers and I haven't figured out which one. So I shall draw a card and say go. The one day I didn't go 2 screens.
Yeah, this is a good
Right.
one for that.
Um,
Well,
So-
of course,
Why do I see a floating
after
card?
I've played,
Yeah, what?
you never saw nothing.
I'll
Nothing.
pretend I didn't see that.
What?
after I play a column card, do all 3 of these immediately go away?
No, they stay on the board, but once you've fulfilled even play, the next turn you can play anywhere.
How about for cards that say play a second guess?
Oh, yeah. So for those cards, if you played that in
Second
a
card.
column, then your second card can go in any of the 3 groups because
Got it.
even play. Yeah. But if for say it just had a happenstance, if that were out and wherever you played the second card would have to
Would
go in the
force the
opposite
other one.
area.
Yep.
Yeah, if it would force it if that were the case.
Got it.
Do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do.
I watched the Barbie movie yesterday.
Oh,
Sometimes,
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
I watched it last week.
I heard that Ryan Gosling is nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in a movie that's all about female empowerment,
I heard
and they
that.
didn't get any nominations.
Yeah.
Thought it was ironic.
Yeah. I
let's
saw
go.
more than a few Facebook posts about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm playing a column card. I'm gonna play a column 6.
More purple.
He is not in column 6. Sasha, column 6 is a no-no.
Okay. And I am going to ask about 44. Do people have a number adjacent to? Oh wait. Sorry. That's not the number that I meant to say. I meant to say that the number 40.
40. Going for the other side.
Is your number
Mm.
adjacent to 40?
Are
You're
you?
back after Evan again.
Always.
Matt?
No.
Wes?
No.
That
Evan?
takes out 57 for you two, suckers.
Yeah.
Nice. Removed 1. I would like to remind everyone that on my last turn, I removed like 14. So, just in case anyone's tracking who's doing the best job working together, Sasha just removed 1 from everyone. I get a point for that, right? For complaining. Am I adjacent to 40, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Okay.
And then there
I
were
think I'm going to do
3.
some free guesses.
Okay.
Now you know Evan very well. Think this through. What seasoning would he choose?
Well, I mean, he would have had to have it in his hand.
I know. I'm just kidding.
But I did have it in my hand, and I did choose it.
I know.
What is it?
I know what it is.
My
No
first
one.
guess will be
You playing a
Mint.
card to do that?
yep. Is it mint?
So, is it meant or is it not meant is the question.
What is this,
Can you-
Shakespeare?
And when you guess, can you say the number as well? I got it, but I had to switch through a couple
25.
It
things.
is
Yeah.
not mint.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's a chance for me.
He lives.
I will
Are you going to use your
free guess
second guess?
again. Yep.
All right.
Is it turmeric?
So I have to say,
What's the number?
43.
is it turmeric or is it not turmeric?
Correct.
It is turmeric.
Oh,
Bum, bum, bum.
we went with a
Uh,
familiar one.
Sasha gets the point. So if Sasha gets another guess, he wins.
But he's used up
But
2 of his
I-
cards, so he has to
yeah.
spend his whole turn as
Yeah.
a guess, right? Okay.
Yep.
yeah. So Evan, when
Yes.
your seasoning's been guessed,
Yes.
you still play cards out here, but you can ignore all this column, row, color group stuff
I
now.
just play whatever the heck I want.
Just play any card you want. Activate its power like normal.
Nice.
You still guess against other people just like normal. You can still
Nice.
win as long as you get 2 guesses.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I will pick up a card. That's my turn. So, will these go to the discard at some point, or they just?
They'll just stay out there,
Okay,
just
got
so
it.
that the information's open if somebody missed something.
Which
Got it.
card did you just play, Sasha?
I just played this one.
Sage.
Sage.
I think I've been
It
forgetting
was a
to,
wise
like,
card.
I think I've been forgetting to cross
Am
out
I
the
next?
card as it was played.
I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Matthew, the white player is not in row G.
Matthew is not in row G.
I'm not the OG in row G.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
D.
Okay, I get to pick 2 columns now, and now I get to go after someone else. Let's see.
You could go after Evan again. Maybe he's got a second season.
You should. You should.
Maybe he has
There's not a lot
11.
of not a lot of spot for you
Evan,
guys to
Evan the
hide.
Colonel.
It's a little hit or miss here. Let's see. I'll go with 13 and 17.
Oh, we have
13
to
and
see-
17. It's a
we
yes
have
or
to
no.
see.
Are you in one of those 2? Or are you not in one of those 2? If I read the card right.
I am not.
Wes is not in either of those. Okay.
I too am not.
Oh, thank you guys.
We live to serve.
I'm gonna top deck so I don't give any information.
Mm-hmm.
So it's next person's turn.
Evan,
And which card did you just play?
118.
118.
Oregano.
Bingo. 118.
Oregano.
Bingo.
I feel like I need people to announce the card they played. Okay. So I think I missed a few. Great. Great. Yeah, great. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to. All right, what cards do I have? Let's see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Column. Adjacent. Adjacent.
Whoa.
Gain power. Adjacent. Okay. I'm just seeing what my possibilities are. Columns are
And
adjacent.
giving away the colors of all of your cards in your
You're
hand.
welcome, everyone. Use it wisely. I'm going to use column.
Yep, just throw the card out there anywhere.
So. Wait. There we go.
So taco seasonings out on the board,
You know that it is not taco seasoning.
which is what I would have picked if it were my secret ingredient.
And the 2 columns I will choose are column 18 and
Which columns did you say again, Matt?
13 and
yes,
17.
13 and 17. Oh,
Yeah, that was back on my turn.
just making sure I didn't mess anything up.
18 and 16.
So are we in one of those two? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Wes is
For what?
not in 18 or 16. Got it.
Sasha?
No.
Sasha is not in 18 or 16.
That leaves Matt.
Leaves Matt. Yes, I am in one of those two columns.
Matt is in 18.
so
Whoops.
the soup thickens.
Or 16.
You should call the guest cards okra or trying to think of the other thickening agents that chefs typically use.
Oh, cornstarch.
Cornstarch, okra, and arrowroot. Yeah, should be one of
Okay.
those.
Okay. I do not use my guess.
All right. Draw back
What?
up to 5, and Wes, your turn.
Now I got to think about this with my deductive seasoning discoveries here.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Don't
down
forget-
to
Don't forget to draw, Evan.
Nope,
You could pick one of the face up.
I do not.
Okay.
But it's this number is the one I
I'm waiting for something to go Sherlock Holmes on someone. Clearly you prefer coffees and coffees with latte, and latte is a sister to turmeric. So therefore, I pick some kind of personal attack on the deduction.
obviously.
all right. What do we got here? We have okay. So if I play this card, that would tell you that I am not in column 1.
Huzzah.
Not in column 1 for Wes.
And then
which we
I'm going
already
to
do.
use the green card to guess the row. The row I am going to ask about is G.
It's a good
Wait.
row.
It's an
Which
important row. Row G. Are you in row G?
Okay.
Matt, I don't think you're in row G.
I am in row G.
Sasha is.
Oh.
And
Uh-oh.
I've already revealed that I'm not, so I can confirm again that I'm not.
Oh.
I think that was a waste of my
Sasha
time. Oops.
Well, we found out where Sasha is.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a guess because
Ooh, here it goes. Here
I
it goes.
just need to get in the game.
And I follow you, Wes, as far as guessing Sasha. So I like this position.
Maybe
I never
he's
said I
gonna
was
guess
guessing
you, sir.
that.
But Sasha wouldn't guess himself.
No. I think
I
that
can't guess myself.
it's not in the rules.
I think I'm turmeric,
Oh, let me just write that note down. I'll think about testing that.
I think, okay, I'll drop a guess card. Why not? Just drop a guess card. I'm going to say Sasha, with his mystical powers, has the magical Angelica.
And what number is that?
The 89 number. It's
89.
bright blue.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, he is. Nice
Oh,
guess.
man.
You got the point.
I
Good
got the point.
guess.
Cha-ching,
Wow.
roll bing. All right, I've got one more free get if I
I
want
almost
to.
Yeah, you
didn't
do.
choose it. I almost didn't choose it because I figured at some point someone was just gonna guess it because it's just like the special color.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Matt. Am I going to take a wild guess at you?
Sure, go for it.
I'm thinking about it. Thinking about
I'm on 42.
it. All right. Let me just take a look at my board here. See what.
So what if we
Yeah.
all get one perfectly one? What happens to the game?
Then you would play a second game, and then it is the very first person to guess anybody's ingredient would win. It's just be a standoff. Or if you really didn't want to do that, you just call it a tie and say we had fun.
Meh.
Matt, I'm rubbing my secret ingredient together in my hands.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
secret ingredient
here it comes, here it
revealed. Cilantro.
Which is number.
cilantro. Can you say the number, please?
Oh, 6.
Number 6.
Number 6.
The blue.
I am not 6.
Oh.
All right, I'll draw a card from the top and say go. It was worth a try. Worth a try.
Sasha.
Sasha, how many different incorrect pronunciations, not from Evan just now, but in general, do you get in your life?
Sasha.
I can imagine
Sasha.
it's a lot.
The incorrect pronunciations aren't actually that common. The only times that it's happened is if people were like specifically trying to say
Okay.
it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I haven't actually had. I think Sasha's not that uncommon of a name that people have like heard it before.
I can't say I have, but
Oh, really?
it's easy enough
Oh.
for me, at least, to guess the correct.
Yeah, it's a very popular Eastern European name. Also, the
Yeah,
daughter of Obama is Sasha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty Russian, right? Like Sasha.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've studied Russian, so that's
It checks out.
he's right. He's right.
That is,
The man knows his name.
So you're like da da
Da.
da.
Whose turn? It's Sasha's
It's
turn,
my
right?
turn.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying to decide on what I want to do. So Wes used both
Yeah.
3 guesses.
So if I
4
want
of
to
the
guess
8.
again, I have to sacrifice my turn.
Yep.
Yeah, and so
4 of the
I'm
8 are
deciding if
gone.
I'm sacrificing my turn, which I feel like I'm going to do.
Sasha, didn't you use your free guesses?
Yeah. So in order to guess, I have to play out one of my normal
He
cards.
reveals information to guess
Where
now.
did your
Yeah.
free guess cards go?
He used them to guess at you.
I know, but where are they?
They're one-time use only.
Where did you put them? I think is what.
Oh, I think I put them back on the top of the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're
See,
probably
now
back
I don't
here.
know who's used them and who hasn't.
I
I
still have
mean-
both of mine.
Sasha and I have used ours. Matt has not.
Sorry.
You can tell by
Okay.
their hand size.
I'm not looking at hands.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
let's see.
Okay, there we go.
I'm probably going
There we
to
go.
make a guess.
I don't know what it is about that side of the board, but Evan and I
expect
are
me
on the
to
cooler
remember?
heads prevail side.
We'll see if that.
We're
pans
just
out.
really interested in what you're making your deals with.
Okay. I need to look at all of these options and see which I'm gonna be guessing what Matt's is. I need to look at what is the most Matt of these available.
Well, it was fortunate that I had every one of them in that column, so I was
Yeah.
able to fully pick what was my preference, truly.
What column?
Exactly.
I'm gonna guess. What?
Do you have to play the card first, or do you guess
It
and
doesn't
then play the
matter
card?
because I've been found out.
Well, yeah. If they still want to see the card
it
you're gonna
does.
play.
It matters for Matt and I to cross each other
Yeah,
out.
but I'll just place something that is neither of you guys
Redundant information?
Are. Yeah. It doesn't
Why are you
matter
playing it? Oh,
What?
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Oh, I
Just
don't know why I'm
cheating.
playing it there.
Yeah.
I turned my camera around.
What is
Oh,
that?
okay.
12 there.
Yeah.
Um,
I am not 12.
All right.
I will guess. I'm gonna go with roasted pine nuts for Matt.
No,
Which is number
86.
86.
86.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
6. I am not roasted pine nuts.
All right, it's your turn, Matthew.
My turn. Okay. I'm going to reveal that I am not in purple.
Oh, good.
What?
Yeah, I know. Surprising.
Really?
And I am going to, let's see. Evan's got his revealed. Wes has got no. Who's the other one that had their seasoning revealed?
Me.
Sasha.
Sasha, it's
Sasha.
just you and
Okay.
Wes.
It's just you and me, Matt. It's just you and I.
Okay.
Where am I adjacent to? That is the question.
Okay. I'm just going for Wes. There's only one left for me to get. I can't guess my own. Where's Wes? Wes is not in purple. Just give me 1 sec. We haven't really narrowed in too much on Wes. I got a little idea though. Wes, are you adjacent to there's a bunch of groups all around. I want to hit them all. I gotta pick one.
Pick a purple one. Pick a purple one.
How about
It's so popular, this game.
81? 81 is where I'm going. Are you adjacent to 81?
81. Am I adjacent to the tea leaf? The answer to that is I am adjacent to the tea leaf.
Oh, endgame is approaching. Just kidding.
I should have been crossing off on my own board so I could see what was left for you guys to see of mine, but was not that smart.
I didn't do that either.
That was smart. I didn't do that either. Okay.
I was doing that, but it didn't save me.
It didn't seem to help.
It did not save.
Let me read these, see which one you might have gravitated toward.
So I guess I can.
I'll use a free guess. You are Mergooz. You went with a really hard to pronounce one.
And that number is
80. Sorry.
80. Okay.
Well,
Let me
hold
check
on.
my board.
Hold on. It's in purple. That was a bad guess. Before you say, that was a bad guess. I already know you're not in purple, so hold on.
We'll give you
Revising that
one.
because I didn't hear any reveal yet, so I'm going to revise that and
We'll
say
give you that one. It's pretty fair.
instead flour. You went with an easy one. Your
Which
flour.
which is number
114.
114.
That's what it was.
You think a plain white guy from Canada would go with flour? You're damn
Sure.
right I did.
Ah!
I knew it.
All right. It's not over yet.
It sure isn't.
So Matthew has nothing else to guess. Matthew, your goal is to survive the round and have it come back to you.
Okay.
And if you are the last person standing on your next turn, you'll win with 2 points.
Okay.
He will
All right,
not.
Evan.
He will not.
How do you get 2 points?
If you, because when
Oh,
it gets back to
he gets
Matthew,
7.
he'll have his secret ingredient unrevealed and nobody to guess against. So
yeah. Unless
I
I messed something up, I'm gonna get Matt's. So
all
we'll
right.
find out if I messed something up. I'm gonna play mint. Oh,
Ooh.
mint.
Uh-oh.
Are you using its power? Or are you going to use
am.
mint? Okay.
Using its power. Are
right.
you adjacent to 35?
35? That would be one of these. I am not adjacent to 35.
Great. That's actually what I needed to have happen.
That has potentially solved the game.
Are you number 8 onion?
No.
Are you number 10
Nettle?
nettle?
I was hoping to sting with that one. You got me.
All right. So yeah, 1 point
Everybody got
around.
one?
Yeah, everybody got one.
Yeah.
You have to play second round to sudden death. First person to guess wins. And that's it.
Is it pine nuts?
No.
Are you
Or-
monosodium glutamate?
Or we'll play this. Hold on. All right.
What if you deal everyone 5 cards? I'm trying to think how to do this.
You got a 1 in 50 shot. What am I? There you go. There's 50 ingredients left in the deck. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I think you've got enough for comments. If
Yeah.
you do want to play Sudden Death, you're welcome to, but it's up to you.
It was a co-op game. We all won.
Yeah,
We all
Yeah.
won.
I'm
We
fine with
figured
a
out each
split
other's-
victory if you guys are.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a perfect tie.
A perfect tie, except I
Don't you
lost
love it when a
first.
game has a tie?
Uh-huh.
Well, wait.
Well,
Is the tiebreaker having a guess left? Huh?
hey,
No.
Aw.
no. Okay. Who wants to start off feedback?
Let me get my Word document ready so I can take notes.
Oh yes.
Although it is on YouTube, I could just go back and watch it again. That would-
That's the pleasure. Yeah.
Are you ready, Eric?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Who wants to start?
Do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Matthew.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing this game. It was fun. First read, I like the periodic table. I look at it and I go, I'm invited by it. I like the real periodic table and the adjacencies and how it's tied to real life. So I don't look at this and go, whoa, that's overwhelming. But I could imagine people with not such great affinities for the periodic table are like, whoa, that's intimidating. But getting into it, it didn't feel that bad. It was just, a color, a row, or a group. I was really torn at the beginning. Do I pick one in the skimpy rows, the rows where there's hardly anything, or do I go for a row in the middle? I don't know which is better. Still having played the game, I mean it's kind of luck what happens, but I feel that one of those is better or worse inherently, slightly, but I can't think of which one it is. So I went with one of the skimpy rows, and I don't regret it at the end. But that was just my thinking at the beginning to pick a thing. I was torn between do I lump myself in a big group or do I go with one of these peaks at the top. I hated that we skipped an entire mechanic of your game. No one went for the market except for me twice, and everyone top decked. So I almost want to say you have to pick for the market because that keeps things interesting. It accelerates the game because now there's additional information every turn that's revealed. So on the beginning of the player's turn and now also on the end, and then I'm tied to only those 3 actions instead of just oops, I guess I'm got this action. The only reason I went to the market twice, or I would have done the same, is because I wanted to play purple since that was early revealed, so I could play as much purple as I wanted without revealing any information. So that's why I went to the market twice. So I had one more purple in my hand. So if it went around again, I would have been able to not reveal anything yet again. Maybe I grabbed too much purple, but I figured I would get another lap. Building was fun. Evenly it was fun. So it forced even reveal of information. So that felt really good. And yeah, it really helped to have 3 different color markers. I just used Snippet in the computer, took a screenshot of it, kept changing my pen color. So I every time I needed to strike out a row or a column, I would change my pen color to that, and then strike it out. And that way I wasn't having to read chicken scratch or something, like initials or something would be another way to do it. So I don't know if, I could almost imagine that would be really helpful. Like if this was a physical version, I would probably want 4 color markers, 1 that I'm not going to use, and then 3 for all the other players. And it would, to Wes's point, it would be nice to keep track of information I've revealed. But then again, if I perfectly keep track of it on my board and it's visible to all, maybe they made a mistake and I'm helping them out. So I don't know in hindsight if I really want to keep track of my information. I'll leave it up to them in case they incorrectly mark something off.
I think there's a player screen in the physical game.
There is. Yeah.
Is there? Okay. Okay.
And then
And on the screen is
Yeah.
printed the periodic table, right? I remember.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep. I remember it.
And then in the physical game, the board is essentially a dry erase board that you have 6 by 9 inches to mark out everybody. It's the one that was put in the chat.
Oh, okay. So you have four
yeah.
copies instead of one with 4 markers. Okay.
Yeah, you have, yeah. I mean, if you wanted to buy 4 different
That
colored dry
works.
erase markers,
That
I would put that on the consumer to do that. But
It just
yeah.
makes it smaller, but I think the trade-off is fine. Some of these kind of felt more powerful than others. I mean, some of them are situational. So, 1 second.
Anything specific that you that called out to you?
My graphic card just crashed, so I reset it. I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I'm noticing columns was a popular one. Maybe that was just how we happen to go about our not reveal information, right? Did we optimize for the reveal, or did we optimize for the power? I didn't spend too much time thinking about the action. I'll be honest, I spent more time thinking about what not to reveal, and then whatever the action was, you know what, I'll deal with it. And then I played it and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good action actually. Glad I chose that one. So I got 2 columns, and then I've got 2 adjacent. These felt really good. They eliminated, potentially 9 or limited half the board into just 2 rows or all the board. If I played that column early. What was the one Evan played that? Oh no, not Evan, Sasha. What was the one Sasha played that only revealed 1? Guess 1 color group? No, that one was pretty good. Opponents must say whether their season is 16 to 18. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Guess the row. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like every card is engineered to hit around 10%. The color group marker is the one that can, it's kind of the strategic choice. Do you want to, hide in the largest C that's going to get discovered first, or you want to hide in a smaller C where once you're discovered, you've got a lot less room to hide. So, but other than that, I tried engineering the cards as best as I can to around 10% per card.
Right.
So yeah, so the best you could do on the columns really is 13, which is a little bit higher than 10% because 9 would be 10.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. There's no strong leading. It was just a feeling that's like, wow, this is really powerful, but it could be situational. So I'll give it that. I'm thinking if I played again, my new strategy would be to burn a card every round with a guess. I wouldn't reveal any information to the other players. I don't know if that's a viable one, but I would want to try it. And then I would keep my 2 free guesses. So I would just basically wait for the opportunistic. Oh, it landed in my lap. There's only 3 left. I'm gonna get it. Because the guesses they give you that surge, but they don't do anything with tie breaking. They don't do anything with any kind of bonus. I feel they should be worth a half point each. But since they're not, I would be curious to see how that played out. So then on turn 1, I don't help anyone else eliminate the other 2 boards. I just make a guess, burn my turn, and I wonder if the other players would try that strategy once they see me doing it. If they would try it, or if they would keep on whatever they were going with. But
yeah,
it's definitely a game of tug of
a point each instead of a half point, because what's the point of a half?
Well, it's enough to break a tie, right?
Yeah, true. But I mean, that's a good idea. I'll try playing around with that. Anything else?
No, I liked the game. It played quicker than I read initially, and it was like Clue on steroids. You can put that on your box. Clue, is a simpler version, I feel, of this as a comparable one. But, every turn there's so many hard clues that I've permanently wiped off from my card, from the opponent's card, from the market if they go to it. And then, additional guesses. It was a hard one. It was fun to try and keep up with it. I'm a little under the weather tonight, but I was able to manage, so I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I can pop up next if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I love the name. Deductive Seasoning. I can see why you kept that one to yourself, so you could apply it to this game. And as Matthew said, the periodic table, it's iconic. Anybody that glances it across the room is going to misunderstand what your game is, but still love it when they actually figure out what it is. So the fact that you color grouped it and you kept it numerized and you kept the shape all the same, I think that's a great draw in a big giant game room. If somebody's walking by, they're being like, "Oh, I want to see about that scientific game." What? It's not science. And I don't really play food games. The only food game I've ever played is Sushi Go, and I think I only played that 3 times. So this as a food game doesn't feel like a food game because it's, like you said, more deductive game. Took about 17 minutes to teach, but again on TTS everything takes longer, and I think 45 minutes to play. So I'm guessing a teach and a play in real life would probably take less than half an hour. So it's pretty good for this type of game. Seems like a lighter game. There's obviously a bit of luck to it, but a lot of strategy to it too. So I think that there's a good balance of both. Really simple mechanic: play a card, draw a card. So I think that makes it easy to teach and easy to learn. For things that are bad, card backs, but I'm sure that would change. This is just a prototype version. At the beginning of the game, it did take a while for us to figure out the card restrictions. What I wanted to ask is, did you find they were necessary to make the game more stuff get crossed out per turn? Is that kind of the idea behind it?
I think the idea that I had was I kind of enjoyed number one, I enjoyed the idea of giving away information at the same time you're receiving it. And also giving you some requirements as to the type of information that you do have to give away. That way, you can't just sit there and say, "I'm not in row 9, I'm not in row 9, I'm not in row 9," or something like that, or column 9. Or just continually have 5 purples and color group at the end of the game. So that's the even play goes into that. And then on the most part, I think you'll notice, typically you only play 5 or 6 cards out here anyway by the time you're down to end game. So those were the ideas going into it. Was I wanted to give it a little bit of depth of strategy.
Yep, I did like the row, the color of the column, and having to split up. So having to make those decisions, it does play into things. So one card type I didn't like too much was this one. I think somebody might have used it, but discarding a free guess when you only have 2 is a pretty big sacrifice. So I wasn't sure. Did people use that one very much in your play tests, or?
Yeah. So what you would do that, and then let's say you discarded that, and then you could play this, and then you would get two tries in one turn. Are you in purple? Okay. Are you in blue? And then you would be knocking out a whole lot of information in a single turn. It's basically, it gives you an extra turn, and in exchange for that, you have to give up one of your free guest cards. Yeah. So I have seen people use it frequently. I haven't noticed it as a problem card yet. The problem card that I fixed in this one was the red cards, where it's now perform any power in the face up. I used to have what was an amazingly clever mechanic, and I loved it. It was an alphabetized mechanic, where in the alphabet is your symbol for your secret letter, but it slowed the game down to a crawl. It was too confusing. I loved it, and it was one of the babies that I just had to kill because it was very clever, but it just did not work in practice. So that was the card I was more.
For a couple of games. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the card I was more interested to see how it played tonight, and it did seem to play pretty well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I liked having the 3 choices there. That gave me a reason to want to play it. So, the yellow one, I just maybe after repeat plays, I'd feel more comfortable giving up a free guess, but it seemed like a lot. As for some of the good things, again, the table, the flavor of the board, it's busy but very cool design. So I think definitely keep that. I played Guess Who a lot as a child, so it certainly struck that chord with me. Flipping over the little thingies and trying to guess the glasses and the hair and whatnot. So being able to cross things off, I could picture if you had an expensive version of the game, you might have little things that you flick. But in terms of how you have it set up, I think it works well. The elimination, just like Matt said, I think it went a lot faster than I expected. When I saw the board and 90 cards, 90 things, I thought it might take a while, but went pretty fast. And for a couple suggestions around guesses again, instead of cards, if you had each player had a teaspoon token or something like that, two. And I thought maybe having 3 each, but then once you use them, they're gone forever and you don't get any more guesses. So if you sacrifice all your guesses, you can't possibly win the game unless another round gets started or something. But being able to have, again, Matt touched on it, if you just decided all I'm going to do is guess this game, then that might ruin the game for the other players. But I had fun, went fast. It was fun playing around with the names and guessing each other's spices and whatnot. So, yeah, good stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Who's ready? Sasha, Vasant?
Actually, can I ask Wes really quick?
Yeah.
What did you think about Matthew's suggestion for no top decking?
Yeah, I think that would force more numbers out.
Force from the market?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then, yeah, I guess they don't get any extra secret. The good thing about drawing the card is you get to see numbers that nobody else sees. So I did like that part of it. Every time I drew a card, I'm like, nobody else knows that I know this number's not out there. So
Yeah.
there's a benefit to having the hidden card that I liked, that if you could only take from the market, that would take that away. So kind of
Yeah.
50-50 on that one.
Like originally I had, most people do top deck, and the reason for the market was specifically in case you're having problems with hand management.
Mhm.
If you have no card that you're going to be able to play and you'd have to pick something. For example, if you played row and then you played column and now you got to play color group, and you have 4 purples here and your secret ingredient's purple, and now you've got to pick one
Yeah.
of something different. Yeah. It hasn't come up really, but it's something that I designed so that it wouldn't come up. But
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting suggestion of forcing you to draw from there.
Yep. Then maybe a card that lets you take cards from the deck becomes more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Evan played one like that, and I didn't realize it at first, but it gave him knowledge that nobody else had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I ditched all the cards in my hand and drew a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had 5
It seems
more
reasonable.
cards.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yep. Sasha, I think it's on to
Okay.
you.
I'll go. So overall, I enjoyed it. I do enjoy deduction games. Cryptid is one of my favorite games, and it's very much a deduction game. There's a lot of things that I liked about the sort of flow, and once I got in the sort of after the first turn, I found it very easy to track all the information that I was getting from everyone. Just like boxing out spots on my paint picture. It worked pretty well, and I felt like I was able to track everyone's information pretty well. So yeah, I think as far as tracking information, this current system that you have seems fine and reasonable to me. Going to the list of things I wrote down. Visual at the top. Oh, this was just a thing to help with starting out, getting the sort of concept of when you're playing it to a spot, what information am I giving? Just like a little visual here, just like highlighting, like having this silhouette and then like highlighting the bottom, or no, I guess row would be highlighting this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you have a silhouette of this thing, but it just like highlighted, just to like make that visual click a little bit faster. Once we got it, it was totally fine, but just for a little UI thing, I think could help. Secretly well. Oh, something Okay, so something that this deduction game, uh, something that does differently that I than several other deduction games that I've played is I don't really have any the amount of information that I have uh about what others could have, um that I'm trying to think of the best way to say this so it's not super confusing. The amount of information that I have that is useful for figuring out what other people have that the other players don't have, oh man, it's still confusing, uh, is fairly small. It's like the cards that I have in my hand, the 5 cards in my hand that I have in my hand, is essentially the only information that I have,
Right. Closed
uh,
information versus open information.
which it's 5 out of 90,
Yeah.
Which is a very small percentage. It feels like I know very little that helps me figure out what other people have beyond what is face-up information. Uh, and this is sort of tying into whenever you are using an ability, you are giving information to the whole table, and so it does feel strategically at um, disadvantageous or not advantageous to reveal information that helps everyone deduce other people's stuff,
Okay.
unless you're guessing that turn. And
Oh, sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead. I was going to say I have received a comment before,
mhm.
and the thought process that I've had by keeping it more open information is that it speeds the game much faster than other deduction type games.
I do think that there is definitely something to that. It does sort of adjust the weight. Like
Hmm.
I don't think that this game is as heavy as many other deduction games, even though it can maybe look heavier at first, just because periodic table can sort of seem daunting. But I don't think it is as heavy as many other deduction games. It's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. As long as you're
I've
crossing things out correctly,
I,
it's you get it.
I've been describing it as a light game. So
Yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I think it does feel pretty light, and I think that's a big reason for it. So it's not necessarily a critique as in it's something that should change, but it's something that if I wanted to play this like optimally, I do think I would always guess every turn and not use an ability every turn, unless it was an ability that was like what Evan did, where he discarded his cards and got a new set of cards. Because I'm getting information on other people's turns, and I'd rather start my turn getting to decide if I want to spend a guess, rather than give away information that might really narrow someone's down and then have to be like, oh wait, I don't have free guesses. Um, so I guess the next person gets to get the point. Um, like yeah. So one of the ideas that I was thinking about is I sort of wanted to be able to lock in my guess for a player secretly, like
Hmm.
write it on a card and put it face down. And then other people could also guess that person, but the person that gets the point is the person that guessed correctly first. So if I guessed a person's
like
thing,
Camel Up.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially like camel up. Uh, so at least for me, that feels like there's a race, and if someone like puts one down, I have to sort of decide like how sure am I that they got it correct, or I don't know. To me, I feel like it would give me a little bit more tension on do I still need to figure out if this person's is this or not, and I don't know. I guess it would make the game take longer because you don't get that confirmation that then you can cross off everything else on their board or whatever. But that was just something that I was feeling like I wanted, uh, as someone that enjoys deduction games. But anyways, I'm gonna move on from that because that is not necessarily what this game needs. It's just what I felt and wanted.
I think the note that I've taken down is explore some card powers, particularly maybe with the yellow card. that I think it was Wes wasn't really excited with the yellow card. Maybe explore a card power that does give more closed information like the brown.
Yeah, I think a more closed information stuff I would really like from a deduction standpoint. I do
True.
think on this point, I did make a big mistake of choosing this one. I think getting 2 free guest cards seems like crazy good, and I really regretted not keeping this in my hand and getting 2 free guesses.
This is a new power that I'm testing on this. I also have another version that I want to test where it's you get protection from being guessed against for 1 round
Mm.
with that card.
I feel like my first thought on that is that would just mean the person clockwise order after me or would get my guess. Because that would be the first turn that people are allowed to guess you again. But I don't know. But I do feel like in the current game, free guess cards are very strong, and one of your most valuable resources. Because being able to do something that gives new information and then make a guess is very strong. And you can't do that unless you have free guess cards. So yeah, that was just my feeling on. I feel like free guesses are a little bit too good. I feel like I would almost want to either have a way to have guessing after you get new information be something that's a little bit more. Yeah, just the resource felt too strong to me. Maybe you can only use 1 free guess in a turn, so then you're essentially it just being able to use multiple in a turn and being able to get more of them seemed very strong. So yeah, that was just my perception. Replaying for a tie, yeah, I really don't like that. Not because I wouldn't want to play the game again, but as what happened in our first game, Evan got sort of teamed up on a little bit as far as information goes, which I think is probably not that uncommon. Or at least I feel like that could be somewhat common, in which case that player would feel like they're out of the tiebreaker as soon as one person starts getting teamed up on in the tiebreaker thing. That would just be like, oh,
True, but the tiebreaker would go much faster. That
yeah.
being said, I do that would definitely likely occur.
I think a different tiebreaker. Just keep it simple. Just for the end, or don't have a tiebreaker. I think in general people like having some sort of tiebreaker, so figuring it out. But
Yeah,
I'm not. My vote is not towards replaying like a quarter a game or whatever. You guys. Yeah, I already said that. Overall, I think I like the power balance of the cards. None of the power cards, except for like the getting extra free actions or free guesses, felt super strong to me. They felt different and they felt like interesting on when you want to use them. So yeah, overall, I dug the powers and sort of how they worked. I'm sure there's still room to tweak them a bit, but overall, I think they worked fine and well. Strategic. Yeah, just feeling like I didn't want to use the abilities on my cards for a like strategically optimal thing. I wanted to use the abilities on my cards because that was more fun, and I didn't like this feeling of, do I want to do what's most strategically optimal and not fun, or do I want to just do something that's fun? I'd rather be able to have fun while I'm doing the thing that feels strategically optimal. So just yeah, that was my feeling on that. And I guess I should have maybe led with this, but like Wes was saying, yeah, very much periodic table. I absolutely think people are going to come being like, oh, science game, and sort of be maybe potentially bummed that it's not a science game. So if you could maybe lean into the science, like if you're still, the name is great. Deductive Seasoning is great. I didn't see a strong connection between the name and the visual. Obviously, each of these are different sort of, or most of them are seasonings. But yeah, being able to sort of lean in a little bit more into the science thing, I think would be helpful for its visual, and also the just sort of matching the appeal.
Go ahead. I'm just going to try to show you what the other side of the screen looks like so that you get an idea of what the table presence would be.
Okay. Oh, you're showing.
One second.
It's loading in. We need a sound effect too when that lands. Something.
Import. Oh, okay. Is that there now?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, I need to unlock it. Toggles. There we go. There it is. So that's what the front side of the screen would look like.
Got it.
Ostensibly right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of the sort of art and stuff makes me very much think food, and the name very much makes me think food, but the player board makes me think very much science, and I do not really feel or see the connection. I definitely understand test kitchens and stuff, that there are connections with food and science, but I think that there's somehow there's an opportunity to lean into that more, make that connection fit together a little bit more, so that someone coming wanting a science game doesn't feel disappointed that it doesn't feel like a science game. And again, I'm making assumptions on how people would feel. I just didn't feel science from.
I will tell you, I've had opinions both ways, very polarized on that.
Okay, got it.
And I have had people come up to me that said, this is amazing and do not change a thing about it, because they absolutely love the idea of mixing food into the periodic table.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.
It has been polarizing. I've had opinions go the other way where they're like, I don't understand why you're doing this. Just give me the chemicals.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't have food. Yeah. I just think that it can be merged more to make it feel more sciencey. Because yeah, I wasn't feeling the science outside of the periodic table shape.
Yeah.
But periodic table screams science to me. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's everything that I wrote down. Overall, I did enjoy the game, and the same sort of enjoyment that I get out of all the deduction games that I enjoy. Just the sort of narrowing it down, oh, I know that this person, it's one of 6 spots for them, and each time 2 more get knocked off. I'm like, okay, do I make my wild guess? What are my odds of getting it correct here? In general, I play deduction games where I want to have 75% or better odds to be getting it correct before I make my move. But I didn't feel like I could quite, the way that the game was set up, I couldn't get to that point. I sort of had to be more making a shot in the dark with a 50% odds thing. But yeah, I enjoyed the overall feeling of deduction that the game had. So yeah, really cool idea, and it is a great name. So
thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
Vasanth, why don't you go ahead? Oh, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Yeah. Actually, there is any no specific comment from me, but what I felt is I have started board game playing with Battleship. There's a big drawback in the Battleship is it's a 2-player game. So other my colleagues are waiting for to finish the game. So it's fulfilling that gap. Okay, and there is the discussion was going on. No, that it's that about the table. It looks like 2 cents or something. So for that, I have some suggestion. Maybe I'll sketch it out and I'll send you later, like what I have done last time, even. So you
Yeah.
can pass to Eric.
Yeah,
So
the sound
yeah.
sketches are like fast and really good. You're like, oh, geez, okay, great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I look forward to
So
it.
yeah, so we can manage posts. Some people don't like that. It's not looks relevant to the game, and some people they like the table, right? So maybe we can do some small modification. It will fulfill everyone. So I will do the sketch and send you later. Yeah, that's
Cool.
it from my end.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so this probably won't solve it for everybody, but if you put a couple of Bunsen burners and beakers on that art, and they're like dropping chives into the beaker, you know, then you're kind of you're bringing in your science and food. And then the cover is going to make a little bit more sense with what they pull out of the box. If they're like, wait, is that a kitchen or a science room? And you're like, oh, it's both. Okay, cool. So Bunsen burner, beaker, chives. All right. I'm done. No, I definitely agree that you should not be able to top deck. You should have to choose from the buy row. In fact, I'm just gonna throw it out because it's just what's in my brain. You know, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I didn't see the need for hands. You know, because we have 3 cards to choose from on our turn. You could just play a card from the 3 cards available and just move right along. There's no real need for hands other than you have like an additional 4 or 5 things that you know it's not because you started with 6 cards. But aside from that, it doesn't really play much different, other than giving you more to think about. And for brains like mine, 3 options is good. More than 3 options, and I start going, like that. So I don't know if you need hands. The current point system, yeah, it's interesting because it incentivizes not giving away information to other players, and it's almost becomes a luck game in who finally gets the correct guess, in a way that didn't feel overly meaningful, to me.
Do you have any suggestions for what you think would be? What about the suggestion for free guesses worth a point or a half point?
I like that. I like that. It doesn't super solve the thing where people don't want to give anybody else information, and so they would just never use abilities that reveal information and just guess every time. But I have some other things to talk about for that. So avoiding using your ability and just guessing every single time. To me, I assume that is not a cool strategy that you want to see. That is a break that you do not want in your game. That would make it not fun, is my assumption. And I would just say that's not. Don't let that be a thing. Don't let people guess instead of using their power.
Twice in a row. Okay, but then how would you ever, if you used your free guesses and you guessed wrong both times, how would you ever be able to guess again?
Yeah. So on your turn, you play a card. Well, I'll come back to it. I have a thing, and you can use what you want.
Okay.
I also think an ability that would kind of go towards what Sasha was talking about is like discard 3 cards from the deck, and you get to look at them. You just top deck 3 cards, mill them into the discard pile. Nobody else gets to see what they were. You looked at them, they're gone. and only you know that those 3 are no longer options. So a little personal info.
Mm-hmm.
And then the card restriction thing, I think, is a sticking point. I think it's a little too complex for the weight of game that you are trying to do. It took us longer than it should have to figure it out. And we're smart folks. So I don't know how often you see people having trouble with like really wrapping their brain around what you play and what it means and what it doesn't mean and what you can and can't play where.
Yeah.
If that's pretty consistent, then I have an idea for you.
It hasn't been an issue yet.
It's just
I mean,
us. It's just us.
I mean, I've had 10-year-olds play the game and they
Oh
pick
my
it up
gosh.
pretty quickly. I mean,
Well, in that case,
but I mean, I'm listening.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, 10-year-olds are smart. Anyway, so here's kind of my overall feel of what came to my brain. So basically, on your turn, you pick one of the cards,
Mm-hmm.
play the card, and then you have. Can you populate me a cube? I drew a cube, but it's not useful.
Okay. Objects.
It's in objects, yeah.
Components, blocks.
Bam, thank you.
Welcome.
And you have a cube, and you say, let's say it's already on row. That means I either have to give up a color group that has not yet been given up, or I have to give up a column that I have not yet been given up. That I have not yet given up.
Oh, okay.
And then I go, boop, I'm going to give you guys 5. I am not in 5. And then on my next turn, I either have to give up a color group or a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I just move that cube on my turn, giving you information. And every time I give you, it has to be, obviously, you cross off, hey, you already told us G, man. That has to be, a different column. And you can track which columns you have and haven't said. To me, that's a lot more straightforward and easier, but if it hasn't been an issue except for us, then maybe it's not a problem. But also, I think you've got your three cards. You choose one, you play it, and then you always guess one at the end of your turn. Random wild guess. Just always guess one. I think it would be a little more like action on stuff. And whether or not it should be you guess one player's thing or you just guess a number and everybody has to say whether or not it's them. I don't know which way is correct. But I feel like that would give a little more action.
Overall, it seems to work better when you're playing against everybody as far as timing of the game on if you're doing it multiplayer. I did originally have a version multiplayer where you always targeted the player to your left or to your right. And it prevented the whole ganging up of things, but then it just wasn't it didn't work.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I've got. I love the idea, the social deduction, the deductive seasoning was fun. But yeah.
I'm gonna try some of these. Yeah.
In my head, the figuring out what card you could play where was too complex, but who knows?
I'll keep working and seeing if that becomes an issue.
Yeah.
One thing that I just wanted to add on to that specific point is it did feel like after the first couple turns, then it almost didn't matter what card we played. Like we still had to be thinking about can I play this one? But most of the cards that I was playing, I felt like didn't give any new information to anyone else, but I was still having to like spend time
Yeah.
thinking about it. And yeah, so
That's the other benefit of this little 3-block thing is you have to give up a piece of information every time.
What would happen? Like you said, all right. No, wrong button. Sorry.
Wait.
That's too many blocks. Too many blocks. All right. So I'm not in row A. I'm not in color group lime.
Mhm.
I'm not in column. You're always going to give up the least amount of information possible.
Sure. And so,
Yeah. Now back to color group. I'm not in aqua.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. But those only last a few turns.
But I mean, well, yeah. But the thing is that it actually, well, it creates more turns because right now the game at 4, the higher it scales up, the fewer actual turns you're going to get because the information is coming out to everybody. So, you know, you played what, 5 cards in front of you, maybe something like that. Whereas in a 2-player game, you'd be more likely 7, 8 cards averaging. So I wonder whether that would actually lengthen the time of a 4-player game out further, where everybody's taking 7, 8, 9 turns.
I feel like I was giving away no information about halfway through the game, so I don't know if it would actually slow it down.
Okay.
This way, because you have to be giving information this way. But
I'll give it a try. I'm going to be at Dice Tower West in a month. So
nice.
that'll be the next playtest sessions that I'm doing for this and Wonka. Or
nice. Wonkowitz.
Yeah.
William Wonkowitz.
Yes.
But yeah,
it's a parody, Warner Brothers. It's a parody. I'm just kidding.
That's what I got. Any other stuff come up for anybody else that they wanted to out with?
I just wanted to give a +1 or a bump to the. I do really like the idea of being able to guess every turn. That'd just be like after you do your card ability, you guess.
Okay.
I mean, I that's what I wanted to happen, and you could do that twice with the current system of your free guess cards. But I almost wish that I just didn't have to deal with these free guesses, and I could just guess at the end of each of my turns.
I'll test that. I think that's a good idea. And it saves components. It reduces components down from 100 and something deck to a 90 deck.
Boom.
I still like the I'll counter that a little bit. I liked having to be strategic on my guesses. So to kind of combine the spirit of both, I only had 4 turns, right? This whole game, I made 4 decisions. It didn't feel bad. It is what it is. What if you gave me 4 or 5 guess cards to start with? So, you know, I'm still going to get the guess per turn if I want to pace it out, but I could also go crazy. I don't know if that's too much, but just an idea.
Yeah. Then
I don't know. It sounds like a lot.
The only problem I would foresee with that is you're going back to the suggestion of once you're done with guesses, that's it. You have no more guesses.
I don't know. It was kind of split in that regard. I don't know on that one, but
I was gonna say I don't think you could do that because if you did not waste, I suppose, but if you wasted your 4 guesses because you Leroy Jenkins did, and then you're out of guesses, then you're out of the game basically, and you'd have no real incentive to continue to play.
Well, I like that Evan was still in it, even though he was picked on by the other players. So I mean, I did like the way that played out, and in the end, he was able to come back. I'm just wondering, instead of an arbitrary guess, I mean, because what if I whack-a-mole on the first round? No, it feels like a luck game, and it's not going to happen every time because that's a really low chance. But
it would happen.
I'm just saying if there was some kind of give and take, you know, he guessed 3 times on round 1, but now he doesn't have an X number of guesses throughout the rest of the game. It feels like a little bit more balanced is all I'm saying.
Okay. I'll play around with that.
And I'll just say, the comments made me think of, I had that camel up feeling
Mhm.
where I can see something develop on someone else's turn, and I look over at the turn order and I see that it's way over on the other side of the board's turn, and then I have no ability to act on it by the time it's my turn because it's going to be grabbed right up at that fresh information. So I mean, so the camel up deals with that with the handshake partnership card.
Mhm.
So I don't know that I'm not saying go with that, but I'm just saying I had that feeling where it was once dropped in my lap where I was almost able to get someone, and then the second time, well, Sasha didn't end up going for Evan's throat, but if he had, it may have been dropped in my lap. And then the second time, after Sasha, if he hadn't guessed it, it would have been dropped in my lap. So, it just felt like, oh, I'm just in a perfect turn order 2 turns in a row. I didn't want that feeling is all I'm saying. I wanted it to be like, if I can see it develop, I don't know what I could do, but maybe there's some card I can play out of turn to do something to help capitalize on the information I think I've just acquired in my mind. And it was an interesting idea to do the lock in with the cards, but I think that changes the game a bit. And I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
way you're going, but I like the idea of being able to capitalize on information when it's the opposite turn's side, because so much information is revealed by the time it comes back to me that I felt like, either it was super opportunistic for the pickings or I was always, on the raw end of the reveal. That's all I'm saying.
I would say the one element that I saw tonight and what I've seen in other playtests that is, like Sasha, he started backing off picking on, I think it was Evan, right? Because he didn't want the other two players to do 7.
Right.
And so by having having that little bit of the kind of a race element to it, it does counterbalance the problem of bashing the leader, right? Or bashing the one player. Because if you bash them too much, then somebody else is going to come up behind you and actually collect the remains and get the point.
Yep.
And so that's what I've seen in practice. But I understand the note, and I'll keep an eye out for it. It might be a problem, but I don't know if it is a problem because of the way that the game is situated in multiplayer, where you either have to be certain or you've got to take a 50-50 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Eric, was there anything else that you wanted to run by us or ask us, or anything else that you didn't get out of the playtest that you're hoping to see?
No, I've gotten some good feedback, some good comments, and I'm going to try and test some of these out. So thank you.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for bringing it on there. It's always fun to see what you're working on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tell the folks at home how they can find and help support what we're working on, and then get the heck out of here. Sasha, how can they find and support you?
Oh man, so many ways. I don't know, not that many. I have a Facebook group for my game Dev Coats that I think either that's what's linked or our Discord server. So both can be found. Actually, I think it is the Discord link that is in
I believe so.
description. I'm also Sasha Jelton on Facebook, or recently started doing TikToks. January I did daily game jams. And I haven't been dancing on TikTok.
No dancing?
Not yet. I'm going to be doing other game design content on there. So if you're someone that uses that platform, find me.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Wes, how can people find and support what you're working on? Maybe even purchase a copy of Forge.
All you got to do is type in my name. I'm sure I'll show up on Facebook. I don't really do much on Twitter or TikTok. I've tried those and haven't done YouTube in a long time, but might have some old videos posted there. As for what I'm doing now, I'm working on a game called Chronos. I was trying a kitty game, but my partner's going to try that one out instead. So next thing I'm working on is a deck builder,
Nice.
which is it's a brain mesh to try to figure that out. Lots of Excel spreadsheets, lots of trial and error. So I'm gonna have fun bringing that hopefully to this venue at some point later this year.
Yeah, please do. Awesome. Matthew, how can people find and support what you're working on? Or how can they apply for a license to Krill?
Well, if you would like a license to Krill, you can go to krillgame.com, sign up for the email. I'll let you know what's happening every couple weeks. I send out an email, and then I'll definitely probably put some incentives in there for people that sign up ahead of time. And I was even working on it just tonight, thinking about other types of plushies to possibly put in the game. I found a pink whale, and I found a squid, and I found some other predators of the krill. So if puns are anything that you're interested in, you should probably check it out.
I hate puns.
Well, then there you
Clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You
Eric.
kept saying element too. I just kept saying it during the teach. You're like,
right.
oh, that's an element to it. And I'm like, oh, it's right there. No one's capitalizing on it.
Eric, how can people find and support what you're working on, or even just go to the Sacramento Game Group?
Yeah. So if you search for us on Meetup, we're the Sacramento Board Game Designers. We also got a Facebook group. You can find me there if you want to reach out. And then for upcoming, I'll be at Dice Tower West is the next convention I'll be hitting up for their Protospiel. And so if you happen to be going there and you want to play test Deductive Seasoning, sign up. We'll be play testing some of the notes from tonight.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing it on. Les, Matthew, Sasha, thanks for coming on. Vasanth had his power went out, so he messaged me and said sorry.
No problem.
And he obviously wanted to say goodbye to everybody. And he says when he gets power back, he'll draw up that thing for you, and he'll send it to me, and I'll send it to you.
Well,
Nice.
well, I'll plug Vasanth. Check out his website, Meeple with 3 E's.
Meeple.
So, yep, Meeple is how I like to say it.
Can you send me that link so I can add that to the show notes?
Yeah, because he's got a lot of great videos that he works on, and previews and
cool.
GIFs, and yeah. So he's let's see. Let me just make sure I get his website right. Meeple Marketing.
Send it to my
I'm
Facebook.
sorry, no, meeple.com. Yeah, it's meeple.com.
Yeah, Facebook message that to me. That'd be great.
Sure thing.
And I have been Evan Halbert. Sasha found it too. You can find and support what I'm working on by going and buying tons of copies of After the Empire, and an expansion hopefully will be announced this year. We'll see if that actually happens. Maybe this year, maybe next year. And then I have 3 or 4 other games coming out in the next couple of years, and I will tell you more about those when those are more nigh. Okay.
How many copies of After the Empire should we buy this week?
I think last week I said 49. So we should be at like 57, 56, somewhere in there. Yeah, probably. You always have to buy, just,
I don't know. I saw the reviews on. Never mind. No, I'm just kidding.
One I posted. Yeah. Oh man, that was such a good one. It was a 2 out of 10. So good. I love those. Okay. Thanks everybody. It was awesome hanging out with y'all, and thanks to Vasanth who cut out on accident. And hopefully this was useful for folks at home who are trying to figure out what to do with their own designs. All right, let's get the heck out of here. Nobody else stayed in the comments, but thanks to Mike Nichols for showing up briefly. We are